Gauteng Health Department has emphasized the importance of compliance as the deadline for re-registration of spaza shops is fast approaching. Government has given spaza shops owners until the 13th of December to comply. Hundreds of cases of food poisoning affecting mostly children have been recorded in the country, linking them to spaza shops. MEC Nomantu, Nkomo-Ralehoko, who's the MEC for Health in Gauteng, is now joining us for this discussion. MEC, a very good morning to you. Thank you so much for making time for us. Let's start off that since the announcement was made by the President, the intervention that ensued after that, and what it is that the Department of Health from its own inspections have picked up.
We have made sure that then we work with all the teams that have been formed, because there's that joint operation and that has been formed with the structures from national and the provincial level, including at the municipalities. So we've been visiting then the communities, now addressing them about this issue to ensure that they comply, and all spaza shops that are dealing with food handling in our communities. And I think the response have been very positive in terms of those that were able to do that. And we're even educating them that there are things that they must follow, and we're working very closely with the municipalities, with MMCs at the municipalities that are responsible for economic development, because all these processes must be done at that level, including how the spaza shops are being zoned or rezoned in specific areas. So we are thinking that that has been positive on our side as a Department of Health, because even on our side, we've been talking about how should they handle food, how should they make sure that the food is clean in all these specific areas where we are and their surrounding areas. But again, we've been focusing on working very closely with the Department of Education, because our campaign, we're rolling it out to the learners at schools. Besides that, they are doing exams now, but January again, we'll still come back and do that, because we've been doing that as a department, as you are aware, of working very closely with the Department of Education in educating our kids. But now we will have a concerted effort, all of us, of ensuring that they understand the type of food that they must, the snacks in particular, that they must buy, and the food to the people that are selling next to their schools or to their shops.
Yeah. And from your inspections, what are some of the gory, stuff that you found while busy with your inspections? What are some of the things that really stand out for you during these inspections?
We realized that they are selling some of the things that are old indeed, like bottles of Amasi, the snacks that are not, they don't even show where they were bought or they were manufactured. And we're advising them that they must stop buying those. And even when they're handling the food, they must make sure that the environment where they are doing that, it's very clean, and it's not a place that it's hazardous in terms of the space that they are using. And again, we said they must improve even on the waste collection, because sometimes next to those areas, you will find out the operators, they're operating in areas where the waste is not being collected on time. So those are the basic things that we felt that we must tell them they must not do. And they were positive, especially those that we've been communicating with them. They realized the mistakes, they acknowledge some of them. But the other thing, there are those that are operating illegal, and there are those that are even illegal South Africans. So, but we're working with the Department of Home Affairs. They were handling that area. Once we find that in your spaza shop, even if you are a South African, but you have employed illegal South Africans, so we're sending over those people to the Department of Home Affairs.
What do you mean illegal South Africans?
People that are coming from Lesotho that doesn't have legal documents. We find them that some of them, they are legit South Africans that are owning the spaza shop, but the people are not the people with the proper documentation. So then we had to, Home Affairs was handling that space immediately when we find out that there are those.
Yeah, we've also heard reports of, in some cases, you find that in these tuck shops, the shop operators are sleeping in the tuck shops. It's part of their living area and living space.
You are correct. We realize that they are sleeping there. They have their own beds. There's small anyana beds. with some water that is dirty, because they're even washing there. So once you get in there, you find the smell immediately. And the space is very small. The space is congested. It's clustered. Hence, then the town planning side was intervening even in that, because they are not supposed to do that. The spaza shops must be rezoned properly, because if you have noticed there, Adrian, some of the spaza shops, they are operating in the townships at the garages, and in areas where they are not supposed to have a spaza shop, you find a spaza shop there. Sometimes in the middle of nowhere, next to the road, here is a spaza shop just next to the road, and it's not done properly. You can see it's an old building that was there. Then they're utilizing that building. And in fact, good thing which we've picked up again in the townships, especially when we're in Deep Kloof, communities knows these people. They were the ones that were telling us at 10 o'clock he was open, or 8 he was opened, now he ran away. Go and find him, he's sitting there. So it was so easy for us now to catch them, because they were told by the communities. They were with us, and they were telling us, we're the ones that told them that they must close, because we know that they are operating in wrong places. So I think parents, community members working with government together, we can achieve what we want to achieve again. That's why we must plead with the communities to ensure that they work very closely with government, because government alone can't do this thing of making sure that we clean our townships, we do the right thing, because law enforcement agencies are there, but they need to be assisted by us as the citizens.
Yeah, what happens after the deadline, after this entire period? Because some people have said that this is government again, because there's a whole lot of noise that is happening and these incidents that is taking place that is now, quote, responding to some of these challenges. But how long would it last? Just a quick example, MEC. You look at the spaza shop policy of Ekurhuleni from 2020. Section 8 says no person is allowed to sleep and or wash himself or herself in a spaza shop. That is from when? Yeah. That is from 2018. Let's look at Mangaung, that is in the Free State. Their policy, which is from 2020, I think, and their policy states the same. No person is allowed to sleep and wash himself or herself in spaza shops. So the laws have already been there. What difference is there going to be beyond the 13th of December?
You are right. The laws have been there, but we were very weak in terms of enforcement. Now, the provincial multidisciplinary response teams that are there, we are going to continue working with the communities, including all those teams. We're not going to stop, because even the Department of Health, Altrin, from last year, we have never stopped doing these checkups. But I think because we're working in silos, it was difficult for us. But I know when I was in any community, I used to work with the MMC for that specific region, and we were having enforcement agencies that were issuing notices, because even if you can go now to some of them, they know the enforcement officers. They will tell you that this gentleman has been here, or this lady is working with us, they've been here. She came 2 months ago. They told me that I must not operate. So they told me that I must go to the offices and register. So it's unlike we're not doing any work. But I think it's the communication that we've been weak in terms of that. Now what we must do is to continue with this program. And I remember even during COVID-19, 2019, we were working with the communities. 2020, especially that time when everything was closed down. If you remember, we were going to the towns, to the townships, to the malls, making sure that we check the type of food that are being sold there. So it's unlike it's something that was not there, but I think we were not communicating properly. But again, we're not intensifying our message in terms of compliance and law enforcement.
Yeah, but if that work was done, we wouldn't have a case where we have 27 children who have died.
You are absolutely right, and it's a pity that it has to end up like this. That's why we all feel bad now that there are so many lives that we have lost, and I don't think we're happy about that, Aldrin. We are frustrated because we're parents too. We know how the pain of losing a child, some of us, how is it to those parents? And they are not, it's unlike they are happy where they are. And government too is not happy. That's why we have to make sure that any issue that we pick up, we don't relax about it. If there are laws that we must amend or must implement, we must start doing that, all of us as public representatives working with our communities.
Thank you so much for your time. That is the MEC for Health in Gauteng, Nomantu Nkomo-Ralehoko, around some of the interventions from government side, and this is ahead of the 13 December deadline